All right, so thank you everybody and welcome. I'm glad you could all make it. So today I'm going to share my screen. Give me one moment. So today we are going to have our first and what we hope will be a series of sort of discussion/webinar events that focus on topics to support first-generation college students. They face a unique set of challenges, and so we hope we can sort of address them over our series of events. This first one is going to be on paying for school. So before we get any further, I should probably introduce myself. My name is Jess. I'm an advisor at Temple. I've went to Temple for my undergrad, and I was a first-gen student here. I'm going to be co-hosting with Terrence. Terrence, can you introduce yourself?
Hi, everyone. My name is Terrence Seals. I'm also an academic advisor. I'm on the biology, chemistry, and earth and environmental science team. I'm not technically a first-gen student, but I did earn a degree from Temple. I earned a master's degree from Temple. So, I've been around Temple for a while. Nice to meet everyone.
Awesome. So I sort of wanted to do like a little bit of an agenda. So first, we'll sort of talk about our background, who we are, our definition of first-gen students, which is short for first-generation college students. We will have the student org Temple First president talk a little bit about her org and some events that are coming up. We will have a panel discussion, and then we'll start to talk about the financial aspect, so paying for college. I'll take us to the next slide. So what is the First Generation Initiative? So we're a group of faculty and staff that got together and brainstormed different ways that we could support first-generation college students. I mentioned they face a unique set of challenges, and we want to recognize those challenges and help students overcome them. And so our working definition of what a first-generation college student is you're the first one in your family to earn a U.S. bachelor's degree. So if you have any questions, I am going to take them towards the end just so we can sort of roll through this. But I can address any questions at the end, or you can follow up with either me or Terrence. Our information will be at the end also. So one of the ways that we sort of brainstormed to help students was having these webinars, but we also wanted to partner with the Temple First Student Org. So Cheryl, would you mind sharing a little more about your org and some events?
Yeah. Hi, everyone. My name is Cheryl. I'm currently a junior, a first-gen student at Temple. Our org is called Temple First. It was founded like about 3 years ago, give or take. And our mission is to help first-gen low-income students with professional development and also like a guide for them. Our biggest goal is just to provide any type of support, but also kind of give the feeling of being a home away from home. Like we build relationship with one another as well as professionals. And we do have a lot of different type of program, including mentorship programs and networking opportunity. I can talk more about our mentorship program and a upcoming community connection workshop that we're doing. So we're partnered with Collective Success Network, which is where all our professionals come from. We're just one chapter here. And every semester we have a mentorship programs where students connect with professional in order to talk about like their career choices or a more in-depth like personal view of being a first-gen student. Because of COVID, it has become more intimate. There's more one-on-one mentorship opportunities now because everyone's virtual. And the other one is there is a community connection going on this Friday. And if anyone want more information about that, you guys can ask me at the end after all the PowerPoint stuff. But yeah, that's just essentially who we are and what we do.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing. So we can move on to our panel. So it consists of some advisors and some students. Let me just stop sharing briefly. Sorry about that. And get back into this. Okay. Technical difficulties. All right. All right, sorry about that. So we have some advisors. We have faculty member, Dr. Nelson. Cheryl, Stephanie, and Jessica are students at Temple. And we have a current Temple PhD student, Archie. So I'll go first just to sort of give you an idea of how to respond, sort of. So my one thing I think a first gen student should know is that you don't have to do this alone. When I was going through undergrad, I felt like I had to figure all this stuff out. I just had to like do it on my own and make it work. It's not true. You have advisors, you have faculty members, you have peers. You do have a support system, so you don't have to do it alone. Terrence? Oh, you're muted.
As per usual, I always forget to unmute. I guess the one thing that I would say when it comes to first gen students, the one piece of advice I have is, try to find like-minded people. More than likely, there are other students who are going through the same thing as you. So have no fear to ask or speak up, or just, find other students who are on the same page as you, especially if they're upperclassmen. Who already know how to navigate things. Like, I'm glad Temple First is here because they can be pretty helpful in, kind of helping you navigate little things at Temple, like, thinking about financial aid, learning about the bursar's office. There's a lot of little intricate things that you might not know, but an upperclassman might know, or just one of your other peers. So don't be afraid to ask other students for help, or just kind of find those like-minded people.
Dr. Nelson?
Hi, my name's Dr. Nelson. I'm a professor in the biology department. I am also a first-generation student. The only thing that I've taken at Temple so far is an organic chemistry class over the summer when I was an undergrad. But other than that, I've been here for a number of years. I don't know how many years it is now as faculty. So I have some idea of what's going on. I have a good idea of what goes on in the biology department. And the thing that I would say is, don't be afraid. Don't think that asking means that you are weak, or that you are, that someone's going to think you're stupid. Take advantage of the resources that you have. You're asking for financial aid doesn't mean that you're poor. Like, it's just more money. Even if you have $1 million, another $1,000 is great. So, so take care. Take advantage of everything that you can. Would be what I would say.
Great, thank you. Cheryl? You're muted.
Hi, my name is Cheryl. For all the new people that just came in, I am a junior, and I'm not on CST, but I was, and I came in thinking I know what I wanted to do. And I guess my biggest advice is, it's okay if it turns out like what your major isn't actually what you want to do. It's okay to change your major. It's okay to not know. I feel as though a lot of time as a first-gen students, we have this like internal pressure that we need to know everything. And because we're like the first person here, like from our family, there's a lot of pressure of like needing to know or need to do certain things in a certain way. But I was lost and I felt okay with that. And I just want everyone else to know it's okay to feel lost at time, and it's okay to just not know what you want to do at the moment. Like, you will figure it out. With all the resources and all the helps, like, you will eventually get to the point where you know what you want to do and what you're passionate about. But at the beginning, it's okay if you don't know. So that's my biggest advice for students.
Great, thank you so much. Stephanie?
Hello, my name is Stephanie. I'm a junior risk management insurance major, so I'm not in CST. And technically I'm not a first-gen student, but I am, I'm not from America, so I kind of had to go through the same thing of like kind of learning from scratch here. And one of my biggest advice would be to kind of get involved, because you kind of start from ground zero, so there's nothing to really go off of. So I would say join as many organizations as you can. And when you're taking your courses, like make sure to pay attention, and then, because you never know what you might want to do, kind of what Cheryl said. So kind of pay attention in every class, and if you really enjoy it, like you can kind of dive deeper. So that'd be my main advice.
Thank you so much. Jessica?
Hi, I'm Jessica. I'm a marketing major at Fox, so I'm also not in CST, but I am a first-gen student, and being one of the first people in my family, it was definitely hard going to a new city, not knowing anyone, and like trying to figure out everything on my own. So it's kind of like what Cheryl said, like I really would advise people to like accept the fact that nobody really has it figured out, and it's okay to be lost sometimes. And it's good to like throw yourself into new opportunities that might help you like meet new people, and that might help you network and find other opportunities. So that's all I really would give advice on, is just to be open to new opportunities.
Great, thank you so much. And Archie?
Hi everyone. I'm actually first Temple PhD student. I initially went to Rutgers and San Francisco State University. My advice would be to I really completely agree with all the points that are made previously before me. In addition to that, I would say don't get discouraged if you see other students doing exceedingly well because they have other support system that you probably don't. Just keep going, keep taking right classes, join clubs as many as possible so you have a good network, and those can be a good source of information as well. So yeah, don't get discouraged, and it might take a longer time for you to go through college compared to other students who are second gen or third gen students. So yeah, that's all.
Great, thank you for sharing. So everybody sort of had some different advice to give, which was really beneficial and not surprising, because there's a lot of different factors that factor into sort of your background, your interest, your priorities, what you think is something other people should be aware of are often tied to your own experiences. So it's not surprising that they were so varied. So thank you everybody for sharing. I'm surprised more people than Dr. Nelson didn't talk about financial aid, because that tends to be a huge concern among first-gen students, and I mean, really any student. So with that, Terrence, would you like to talk more about how to fund school?
Thank you so much, Jess. I appreciate you passing it over to me. I'm going to actually share my screen. And is everyone seeing my screen? How to fund college? Okay, thank you. Because I do have some technical difficulties from time to time. All right. So I guess, what I'm going to do today is pretty much talk about how to fund scholarship with a focus, how to fund college with a focus on scholarships. I think by now most college students should be familiar with the term scholarship, which is financial aid that does not need to be repaid. I'm just going to go over a couple things right here. But the one thing that I think students aren't always clear on are the types of scholarships, right? So scholarships typically come in two forms. As you see here, there are need-based scholarships, which is determined by students' or families' finances. And typically, I would say your FAFSA is used to determine your financial need via the student aid report. I did include a link up here. Everyone should know what their student aid report is, right, at this point, if you're in college and you've completed a FAFSA. But we definitely, we're going to share this PowerPoint with you after the session, so that you could actually click on these links where you can find more information about the student aid report and figure out how that kind of plays into the whole scholarship situation, all right? The second type of scholarships are merit-based scholarships. And pretty much like this, the presentation says, eligibility for these can be based on almost anything, right? Such as a student's academic, or artistic or athletic talent, just to name a few. Students often come to advising, inquiring about how to, inquiring about scholarship availability. So today we kind of hope to share some resources that can help you find some scholarship opportunities. All right. So the first resource I'm sharing with you today is iGrad, which is a financial literacy and career platform available to you right in your TU portal, right? It can be found under your costs and aid tab. And right down here, I'm kind of using the arrow to kind of point out. I'm actually going to jump into it at some point to give you a demonstration. It covers a wide range of topics, right? Including banking, budgeting, cars, credit scores, types of financial aid, and information about repaying student loans, just to name a few. But, I just encourage you in general to explore the tool to find information to educate yourself on a particular topic of interest, right? But today, what we're actually going to focus on is the scholarship search tool that's available in iGrad, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to jump out of this screen really quickly, if I remember how to get out. All right. So is my screen still shared? All right. So as I showed you in your TU portal in costs and aid, right, you scroll down and you could access the iGrad dashboard. That's what they call it here. It's going to make me sign in, of course. Let me double check. All right. Give me a second. All right, thank you. So once you sign into your TU portal, you should be able to go directly to your iGrad dashboard. iGrad would ask you for some information to set up your account, right? Some of these things you could kind of skip and come back to later. But once you've set everything up, the one place that you need to go to is tools right here. If you click on it and then scroll down like the image that I just showed you in the PowerPoint, it has a scholarship search option, all right? So I'm gonna click on this. And this scholarship, I've known Temple students who have come to me, I've referred them to this to kind of check out what scholarships are available. Their Temple students have definitely received scholarships from this, from using this app. So just, please check it out. I encourage you to do that. So the first thing that you would do, if you notice on the very first page, it kind of just lists any upcoming scholarships, right? There are no filters that are, pulling out all of these scholarships. As you can see, they range, there are a lot of different types of scholarships. It does give you a brief, some brief information about the scholarship, when it's the deadline, how much money it is, where it's from, any base requirements right here. You could see this one requires at least a 2.5 GPA. It does require essays and it requires to submit a transcript. you could also save this if you wanted to come back to later, to kind of, just in case you don't want to work on it right now. So, but what you can do, you need to actually click on the scholarship name to apply. And it also gives you more details about the scholarship itself. So, this one actually has 25 awards. It lets you know the deadline, again, the scholarship amount. It lets you know who is eligible for it, in terms of, 4-year, 2-year full-time students, freshmen, sophomore, juniors, and seniors. But also you want to double check a lot of you really want to make sure you're clear. So this is for STEM students in general, but there's one stipulation that I noticed for this particular scholarship. It's kind of, you must be residing within an Allegiant Energy Service territory. So unless, I don't know where Allegiant Energy Service is, so I would assume it's not in PA. So if you're in PA, in Pennsylvania, then this is probably something that you can't necessarily apply to. So just kind of keep that in mind, all right? What I wanted to also point out to you over here, there are filters also that you can use to kind of refine your search, right? So for instance, if you click on the education, you could go into, I'm not doing it. Oh, I already had that selected. If you go into education, you could go to 4-year school. You could pick full-time or part-time student. I think I'm gonna pick full-time. Field of study, and as you see, things kind of change a little bit, right? Field of study required, and you scroll down, it's gonna give you, I'm gonna come down to science, right? So here, it's gonna list all the science-based scholarships that are available to you. So it's just a matter of you checking out the different scholarships and seeing what information that, whether it's applicable to you or not. If you also wanted to go into, let me see, in terms of eligibility, if you wanted to find scholarships that are particular to your state, you could put, state of residence not required. You could pick that, or say you wanted to look for scholarships within Pennsylvania. You could kind of scroll down and Pennsylvania. And as you can see, the more you refine things right now, this doesn't have a lot of scholarships that are available for particular students in Pennsylvania. So I might not want to actually, pick Pennsylvania to restrict my search like that. I might say, state of residence not required, and then all of these other scholarships are still available. And I'm sure scholarships are added all the time, all right? You could pick stuff based on military experience. There's a lot of different things that you could go about kind of looking for your scholarship search. All right, so I say check it out, play around with it. I told you it has a lot of different topics that it covers, from banking to budgeting, especially if you're a college student, first-gen student. Sometimes no one ever taught us how to budget. No one ever taught us how to do a lot of the little things. No one ever taught us about credit, right? This is a tool that kind of puts everything in one place, and you could use it as much as you want. But I do encourage you, if there's one tool you're going to use in here, try using the scholarship search tool that's available. All right. Whew, I'm going to jump back into my presentation. So, all right. So, kind of things to know about your scholarship search, right? Oh, it went all the way over there. I don't know why it did that. All right, let me see. All right, that's better. Okay, it doesn't like me right now. All right. Just keep in mind, scholarships are typically offered for the upcoming academic year. So if you do find a scholarship today, more than likely, the scholarship would be for the next year, meaning the 2021-2022 academic year. Seldomly would you find a scholarship that's being offered, for this current academic year now, especially at this point in time. But you never know, right? All you got to do is actually use the scholarship search tool and, see what's available. So that means I do encourage you to start your search early. You could start using the iGrad tool now and seeing what's available, and just keep constantly checking it. apply, apply, apply. Don't give up, right? Just keep in mind, just because you apply for a scholarship doesn't mean that you're automatically going to get it. I've definitely worked with first-gen students for a long time. And one of the things that I've learned from just student financial services, they said that if you want to get at least one scholarship, you should be looking to apply to at least 10, right? I know that might seem a lot, but that's because scholarships aren't guaranteed to any one particular person. So the more you apply to, the more your chances and likelihood of receiving one scholarship. Pay attention to deadlines, right? Make sure you see what the scholarship requirements are. If you do have to write an essay, if you do need to have recommendations, you want to pay attention to the deadline so that you make sure that you get everything done before that deadline. And the other thing that I wanted to say, be aware of scams in general. There are a lot of these what we call sweepstakes scholarships, right? Where they randomly pick a winner. And typically they ask you for, personal information with no requirements. They're likely just collecting your personal information to resell it or just spam your email inbox, right? So in addition, just be aware you should not have to pay to get any information on scholarships. This is something that I ran into a lot of times when I worked with high school students as they were applying to college, and parents are coming to me, hey, I paid this service and they told me they'll help me find scholarships. All they did was give them a list of scholarships that was available. I'm like, I could do that for you for free. Or there's information out there that you could find this information for free. And I'm actually going to have a couple more links that you could find some other scholarship information. All right. I think here, create a separate email or alias to manage your scholarship search. I know in general, a lot of students, their emails from their template email is already filled with things. So if you could create an email account where, Terrence Seals scholarships, right? And then you kind of use that as your email that you use to apply to scholarships, because especially if you're applying online, then you know where to go and check to see, responses. Also, I would say check with your local organizations and businesses, credit unions, banks, professional organizations. They always have scholarships available. So it's just a matter of just opening up your mouth and asking about these scholarship opportunities, all right? Like I know the PFCU, I don't know if they have a current scholarship. I think they do have a scholarship. The Philadelphia Federal Credit Union, they do offer scholarships to students. So I'm just kind of putting that note right out there for you. But you have to be a member of the credit union in order to get it or something like that. So just make sure you check with them. All right. These are some other links in terms of just scholarship opportunities that you can find. Over here, you could see their scholarship opportunities at Temple. I know CST is going to send out information about their CST scholarships soon. Let me click on it. So when you go here, they list all of the different scholarships that are available within CST. You do have to you do have to work on it through Academic Works. This is, you submit your application and everything like that. Once, I know we typically send out a reminder. I think CST sends out a reminder, but this link right here would have all of the information if you ever want to look, find scholarships here within CST. And then, change the screen again. All right, and then, there are just other links to other scholarships information. If you plan to study abroad, there are scholarships available for students who study abroad. So don't shy away from that. I also included that. And then over here, these are just other websites that have information about scholarships. I know I mentioned that you shouldn't have to pay a fee to access scholarships, but I know like the Scholly tool, I think you pay like a monthly subscription. I can't remember. Does anyone use Scholly by chance? Everyone have Cheryl? What is it? A monthly fee?
Oh, I didn't have to pay any fee, but I definitely did have to like sign up with my email, and whenever they do have scholarship, they just email it to me.
Yeah. Oh, so you didn't have, I know, I feel like some, go ahead.
And I was gonna say, I think it depends on like, cause I know in the past they didn't ask me for any fee, but recently, like around December, they asked me to pay a certain fee to access certain scholarships.
Okay, so what I would say, it might be worth it to, even if you found it on Scholarly, Google it, all right? Because scholarship applications are free. You should not have to necessarily pay for it. So it's a useful tool because I think what Scholarly tries to do, it gathers a lot of scholarship information that is not always easily accessible from different businesses and companies, but it's something that could, you know, use it. I don't think the fee is high. If you can pay it to access it, but if you could just find the name of the scholarship and just Google the name, you might be surprised you could find the application yourself without having to fill it out through Scholarly. All right. But I do encourage you to, once we send this email out to you, to click on these links and to start kind of planning your scholarship. You know, you're just kind of making moves on applying to scholarships and everything like that. All right. Lastly, I do encourage you, because I run into this a lot of times with just a lot of students in general at Temple that don't understand how their financial aid works, all right? These links are links to the Temple University Student Financial Services website, information about scholarships, information about grants, information about educational loans and federal work study. They kind of all lay it out there. The iGrad tool also does explain some of that stuff also. Let me scroll. I can't remember where I found all of that stuff. But, you know, federal aid, financial aid questions, they have videos, they have things about loans, things about loan repayment, just making sure that they, you know, you understand where you stand with your student loans and everything like that. So I do encourage you to check these links out. If you do have any questions about any of these, reach out to myself, reach out to Jessica. I do have, you know, our emails up here. We could definitely point you in the right direction. I have definitely worked enough with college students and first generation students, because I used to work with the Math Science Upward Bound program here at Temple, and it's usually a lot of first generation students. So we know where to direct you to get the help that you need. But again, it all comes back to what some of the points that we made earlier. Don't be afraid to ask for help. All right. We're all here to help you. Don't feel that you're here alone. Even if you ask a peer, one of your fellow college students, they more than likely would be willing to say, hey, hey, Terrence, a friend of mine asked me XYZ, what should I tell them? And then we'll give them information to help them figure out where they, you know, they can turn to get the right information. All right, but that's it for me in terms of this presentation. I know it wasn't long, but I didn't want to delve too much into a ton of things. But once you get the presentation, you could check it out, click on the links and see what you can do in terms of using the iGrad tool and finding these, using the other resources to find scholarships. Look out for the CST scholarships. There are even ones, I think there should be one for transfer students also. So keep that in mind. All right.
Thank you, Terrence. Awesome. So speaking of not being afraid to ask questions, does anybody have any questions? That's okay if not.
I just have a quick comment.
Oh, yeah.
Hi, everyone. My name's Lawrence. I'm one of the advisors. I work with Jess and Terrence. And I just wanted to say that the neighborhood association scholarships are definitely real, definitely a thing. That got me my books and like food, like my first like few semesters when I went to Drexel undergrad. I know. But that like really like look into your neighborhood, because especially now like people understand that like things are going on with the pandemic and everything. Just neighborhood associations, definitely a good way to look for some extra cash.
Great, thank you for that. In the chat, it looks like Cheryl sent everybody a link to connect with Temple First. So if you're interested, definitely click that link. And I think if there are no more questions, we can wrap it up. Well, thank you so much for everybody for coming. This was really nice. I hope you have a good day. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.